Hello and a very warm welcome to each one of you. And today we are diving into a new section wherein we will be understanding about, basically कि हमारी जो पर्सनालिटी है, आइडेंटिटी है, वो इवॉल्व हो सकती है, right? And it must actually evolve as well. So before we dive into that part, let me very quickly share with you कि हमने इस चैप्टर में अभी तक क्या पढ़ा है. So, before we go into evolution of an identity, let's understand कि हमने अभी तक क्या क्या पढ़ा है. अगर बिल्कुल ही समराइज्ड वे में बात की जाए तो हमने पढ़ा है कि आइडेंटिटी इज द की टू एक्सपेंशन. उसके अंदर हमने वी हैव अंडरस्टूड एंड वी हैव लर्न दैट आइडेंटिटी शेप्स डेस्टिनी एंड एवरी डिसीजन वी मेक aligns with who we believe we are. उसके बाद हमने पढ़ा था हाउ योर आइडेंटिटी इज फॉर्म्ड. हमारी आइडेंटिटी कम्स फ्रॉम हमारे एक्सपीरियंसेस, हमारे रेफरेंसेस, हमारे एनवायरनमेंट एंड द मीनिंग वी अटैच टू दोज एक्सपीरियंसेस. ठीक है. उसके बाद हमने पढ़ा था द अल्टीमेट पेन, सीड्स ऑफ एन आइडेंटिटी क्राइसिस, wherein we learned कि pain often arises from our life when our life expands, but हमारी जो सेल्फ इमेज है वो स्मॉल रह जाती है. हमारी लाइफ एक्सपैंड हो जाती है और हमारी सेल्फ इमेज जो है वो स्मॉल रह जाती है, तो हमारे को पेन होता है. ग्रोथ normally demands that we update who we believe we are. और अगर हम एक्सपैंड होना चाहते हैं बट हमारा बिलीफ है कि हम एक सर्टेन वे में ही है, तो इट कॉजेस पेन. ठीक है. एंड लास्ट हमने सेशन में पढ़ा था हु यू आर एनीवे, जिसके अंदर वी पील ऑफ द आउटर लेयर ऑफ द आइडेंटिटी, हमारे रोल्स, हमारे टाइटल्स, हमारे अचीवमेंट्स, टू डिस्कवर द रियल यू बीनीथ ऑल ऑफ इट. जैसे अनियन की लेयर्स होती है ना, वैसे हम एक एक लेयर को पील करेंगे तो वी विल अंडरस्टैंड हु वी रियली आर. एंड नाउ वी आर डाइविंग इनटू एवोल्यूशन ऑफ एन आइडेंटिटी, जहाँ पे हम ये सीखने वाले हैं कि आइडेंटिटी जो होती है वो फिक्स्ड नहीं होती है, एंड इट इज अ लिविंग सिस्टम that can evolve cautiously. Let me very quickly start sharing the screen so that we can read this together. Evolution of an identity. One of my friends, a woman named Deborah, who everyone knows as adventurous and vibrant, recently shared with me a story about the transformation she had undergone with her identity. When I was growing up, she said, I was always Vim. I would not do anything physical and anything that had any potential of my getting hurt. After attending some of my seminars and having new experiences, scuba diving, firewalking, and skydiving, she began to see that she could do these things if she forced herself. But these references were not yet organized into a new belief about who she is. She now merely saw herself as a whim who would skydive. The transformation had not yet taken place, but unbeknownst to her, it had been set in motion. She reports that other people were envious of her accomplishments, saying things like, I wish I had guts to do what you did. You are so adventurous. She was genuinely taken to surprise by their comments, but the continuous view that others had of her began to cause her to question her view of herself. Finally, Deborah said, I began to link pain to the idea of being a wimp. I knew my belief about being wimpy was limiting me. So I decided that was not who I wanted to be anymore. Not only that, But all this time, her psyche had been wrestling with the incongruity between how her friends viewed her and how she perceived her own identity. So, when she had another chance to do skydiving, she seized upon it as an opportunity to make the leap from potentiality to actuality, from what could be to what is. It was time to boost her adventurous identity into from opinion to conviction. As the plane climbed to an altitude of 12,000 feet, Deborah watched the less experienced members of her skydiving team struggle to contain their fear and look like they were having fun. She thought to herself, "That's who I used to be, but I am not that person anymore. Today, I'm going to have fun." She used their apprehensions as contrast with the new person she had decided to become. She thought to herself, "That's how I used to respond." And she started to realize that she had just made a major shift. She was no longer a whim, but an adventurous, powerful woman about to have the time of her life. She was the first jumper to leave the plane, and all the way down she whooped with delight, joy, and exhilaration. She had never before felt such intense levels of pure physical energy and excitement. One key element that may have pushed her over the edge in instantly adopting her new identity was her deep level of commitment of setting an example for other jumpers in her role as a team leader. She told me, "It's like what you do, Tony. If you did a whole seminar about breaking through fears and limitation, but refused to do the firewalk, it just would not work. You have to walk your talk." Deborah's transformation was complete. She gained new references that started to chip away at her old identity, made a decision to identify with greater possibilities, and when the right moment came, contrasted her new identity with what she no longer wanted to be. This was the final leverage she needed to bring about the transformation. Her evolution was simple yet powerful. This complete identity change now impacts her kid, her business, and everything else she's involved in. Today, she is truly an adventurous leader. Of course, you can always decide to redefine yourself. Think of the wondrous imagination that suffices the heart and the soul of every child. One day he's Zero, the masked avenger. The next, he's Hercules, the Olympian hero. And today, he is Grandpa, his own real life hero. Identity shifts can be among the most joyous, magical, and liberating experiences of life. Why do adults look forward all year to Halloween or New Orleans Mardi Gras? One reason, I'm sure, is that these celebrations give us permission to step outside ourselves and assume an alter ego. We may do things in these identities that we would not normally do. We may do things we want to do all the time but see as inconsistent with our identities. The reality is that we could do this any day of the year. We could completely redefine ourselves and we could simply decide to let our real self shine through. Like mind mannered Clark Kent shedding his spectacles and business suit to reveal the mighty Superman, we may uncover a giant identity that is more than our behaviors, more than our past, more than or any label we have been giving ourselves. This was a short read, but very powerful. I also remember the times when, I would always call myself that मैं तो एक homemaker हूँ. I'm just a homemaker. And I still remember I used to feel small in that. There came a time in my life when I started, cribbing and crying about this thing as well. कि यार मैंने तो जिंदगी में कुछ किया ही नहीं, मैं तो कुछ कर ही नहीं पाई, आई एम जस्ट अ होम मेकर. एंड वो आइडेंटिटी शिफ्ट कैसे हुई व्हेन आई स्टार्टेड कोचिंग. तो मैंने पहले बोला कि आई थिंक आई हैव शेयर्ड दिस इन द अर्लियर सेशंस एज वेल कि आई स्टार्टेड ऑफ विद कॉलिंग माई सेल्फ मदर ऑफ 3 daughters पहले, and then mother of 3 daughters and a coach. And dhire dhire, when I started coaching again and again and again, I formed an identity that I am a coach. Now I am a coach and a mother. पहले मैं mother and a coach थी, अब मैं coach and a mother हूँ, है ना. But yes, I call मतलब तब मेरे को I used to shrink when anybody would ask me, what are you doing? क्या करते हो? क्या करते हो? Now I am so confident in saying that I am a mindset and a life coach. And the part that we have read today also, उसके अंदर भी Tony Robbins has explained that who we are is not something we are stuck with forever. Identity can and must evolve if we are to experience lasting fulfillment. की पॉइंट्स जो हमने आज की रीड में हाईलाइटिंग है, दैट इज आइडेंटिटी इवॉल्व्स with experience if we allow it. हमने कोई चीज एक्सपीरियंस करी है एंड नेक्स्ट टाइम वही सेम अपॉर्चुनिटी हमारी तरफ आ रही है, इफ वी ग्रैब दैट अपॉर्चुनिटी एंड मेक इट एज another experience, we take it as an evidence that we have shifted our personality, our identity, then it starts working. Every phase of life gives us a chance to expand our definition of self. However, many of us resist this evolution because change feels very unsafe. ठीक है. फिर हमने ये भी समझा कि the need for certainty keeps people stuck in the old identities. Normally, human nature है कि they cling on to the familiar patterns. अगर पेनफुल है तब भी, just because they make us feel like we know who we are. But comfort and growth cannot coexist. Never. Comfort or growth, दोनों चीजें. You have to get into the uncomfortable zone if you want to experience growth in your life. ठीक है. उसके बाद हमने we also understood that identity shifts जो होते हैं, they happen through new decisions and new standards. When you decide who you want to be and you align your actions with it daily, your identity naturally and normally and naturally transforms. जैसे इसके अंदर भी बताया गया कि दिस लेडी, उसने फर्स्ट टाइम टोनी रॉबिन्स के साथ स्काई डाइविंग करी एंड सेकंड टाइम व्हेन शी गॉट एन अपॉर्चुनिटी शी इमीडिएटली ग्रैब्ड इट एंड देन व्हेन शी लुक्ड बैक टू द न्यूबीज शी डिसाइडेड दैट आई डोंट वांट टू बी देयर एनीमोर एंड फॉर दैट आई नीड टू you know experience it with all my joy without any fear. Likewise, if somebody starts saying that I am disciplined, I am focused creator, then and then take daily actions consistently, है ना, then only a new identity will be born. हम बोल दें और हमारे actions align ना हो तो it is not going to happen. You have to start taking consistent actions towards it to build a new identity. And mind it, ये new identity अपग्रेड भी हो सकती है, डाउनग्रेड भी हो सकती है. इफ यू कीप ऑन स्टेइंग इनकंसिस्टेंट फॉर अ वेरी लॉन्ग पीरियड ऑफ टाइम, माइंड इट that you are consistently inconsistent at doing something which is also creating an identity for you. So आपको डिसाइड करना है आपको क्या आइडेंटिटी चाहिए, राइट. um then identity growth mirrors life growth. Everything in nature evolves. Trees change होते हैं, seasons बदलते हैं, even human mind evolves. Stagnant identity equals stagnant life. And stagnant तो कुछ भी नहीं. Even if you keep on sleeping, your breath is changing every moment. You are changing. Your skin is changing, whether you're doing or not. If whether you're doing something or not, you must understand that अगर आप अपनी सोल में स्टैग्नेंट फील कर रहे हो, that means you are experiencing slow death. You are poisoning yourself. So keep evolving, keep growing. All right. Last but not the least, you're not losing yourself. कई लोगों को लगता है we are going to lose ourselves on this journey. I want you to understand that you are discovering deeper layers of who you really are. Tony Robbins also reminding us that evolution जो होता है ना, is not about becoming something than someone different. It's about uncovering more of you, more of who you already are. बड़े सारे लोग कहते हैं कि मेरे पास पैसा आ जाएगा, तो जो जो उन क्योंकि दे बिलीव दैट रिच पीपल आर, they get into the bad company of people, they get into the bad habits and everything. But the reality is, when you have more money, you become more of who you are. If you are a good person, you will become more of a good person. If you are a bad person, you will become more of that. If you were wanting to have, you know, um, uh, maybe you were wanting to, do more of charity. So what are you going to do? You're not going to go to the bar and sit taking drinks, right? जब आपके पास ज्यादा पैसे आएंगे, तो you will be more happy and you will be more happily doing the donations, giving the charities. And likewise, if somebody is always wanting to, start smoking, smart smoking, and but because पैसों का crunch था तो वो कर नहीं पाए, so the moment they get money, they have extra income, what will they do? They will start smoking more. ठीक है? So this is a very simple way of telling you that जो भी जैसे भी आप इवॉल्व होते हो, it is going to help you be more of who you really are, who you already are from within. ठीक है? Uh, that's it. I would love for you to reflect on a few things before we close today's session. That is, number one, I would love for you to understand for yourself, what identity have I been holding on to that no longer fits who I'm becoming. Number two, that I would love for you to reflect on is, what new identity am I ready to evolve into today? And last but not the least, how will I start behaving differently to honor that shift? Okay. These three questions are very powerful, because once you have the answer to these three questions, you will have an action plan in your hand. और वो एक्शन लेना आपके हाथ में है. If you do not take action, you will stay where you are. But as I always say, a mini you will have to die for a new you to emerge. And for that, new action taking needs to happen. All right. That's it. That's it for today's session. Just a thought. Huh? If you really want to change your life, you must change your identity. Who you believe you are shapes who you become. So work on it. All right. That's it. Thank you for joining in. God bless you. Have a wonderful festive season. I'm trying my best to be with you as frequently as possible. And let's keep working on ourselves. God bless you. Have a wonderful, wonderful day. And lots and lots and lots of love. Mwah. Bye-bye.